So I'm Marco. I'm currently the trip representative of Hong Kong and Greater Bay Area in 8 hours ahead. My parents are originally from Hong Kong, but I'm born and raised in Macau. I did my bachelor degree in the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and then I worked in JP Morgan and in HSBC for 7 years in investment banking. I lived in both London and Hong Kong before, and I did my MBA degree at Imperial College London. So yeah, that's a bit about my background. And then right now, what I do is really helping European tech companies to come back to China. And I think, China is a very interesting market
It is.
because, it's still technically a developing country in the sense that for our policies and for our regulations, we are still trying to, change it to be more aligned with the international standard. But because of that, it creates sometimes a little bit of barriers or difficulties for international companies to get into China. So that's why, that's also one of the reasons why our firm exists, because we want to bridge the gap between, all the global companies, who want to, get into China. And I think very often one of the question that I get is, why does China make it so hard for everyone to go into their country? But then I think the answer is always every single country, when they develop the policies and develop the regulations, is not to make it difficult for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's really, because they really like the people in their own country, they want to make sure their people are safe and their people are well protected. And also, whenever you have to get into a new country, you need to understand the local customs, the local culture. So I think all these regulations that actually exist is, to help the citizens in China to have a better life and to be more integrated with the international standards. So once we know all these reason behind the regulation, is actually not easy to get into China. And as I'm sure, a lot of the European or Americans who have been to China after they're in this country, they will know how welcoming we are to, all the international travelers. We like friends from across the world is part of our DNA. And right now, most of the overseas travelers even have visa-free access to our country. So I will welcome anyone who want to, get into China, visit China, just come to China anytime. And we open you guys with our open arms. Yeah, so I think for European countries, European startups who want to get into China, first of all, it's a country full of opportunities. It's not only about the population size. Obviously, we have a huge population size, but at the same time, I think it's also part of our DNA that we are extremely hardworking. We are very accepting towards new things. So we always welcome innovation. And the other thing is, there is an old saying in China, if you want to make something happen, it will happen the next day, because we don't have bureaucracy and we work 24/7. So if you want to make something happen, it will happen. So for European startups, I think one of the advice is, obviously I've lived in Europe for very, very long. When you come into China, might have to adjust the speed a little bit, because in this market is always like whoever the fastest, they get the market, and whoever adapt to the market the fastest, they get the market. And also because in China, we have a lot of local cultures across different provinces, across different cities, even Hong Kong and Macau. We have our own special administrative region. We have two different currency. Macau use Portuguese law, for example, and Hong Kong still use the common law in British system. So for European startup, before they get into China, it's very important they understand all these local contexts and local customs, and also the dynamics between different provinces, because it could be extremely different. So I think, yeah, once the European startup understand all these contexts, then yeah, it will be quite easy and smooth for them to, come to China.